Hey guys, John Wiehn, attorney and legal instructor with Blue to Gold Law Enforcement Training, coming to you today with another roadside chat. Today's question comes from an officer in Wisconsin, and the question is this. I'm trying to understand the reasoning that a warrant is required to place a GPS on a car. Is the warrant required to make physical contact to place the GPS? Or is the warrant required for the data the GPS collects while attached? Okay. And so basically the case that controls this question is United States versus Jones. That's a 2012 case. And prior to 2012, it was generally accepted that you did not need a warrant to affix a GPS tracker to a vehicle. The thought process was there is no reasonable expectation of privacy in what you willingly expose to public view, and so there is no reasonable expectation of privacy in the exterior of a vehicle. If you had the resources, you could assign a surveillance team to a vehicle 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and you would learn nothing more than you would by sticking the GPS tracker on the vehicle. And so where there is no infringement on an individual's reasonable expectation of privacy, there is no search for purposes of the Fourth Amendment. If you wanted to stick a GPS tracker on a vehicle, you could just do it. Well, that all changed in 2012 when the feds stuck a GPS tracker on Jones's vehicle, and the information that it collected, over 3,000 pages of GPS coordinates, were introduced against him at trial. And he argued this idea of the reasonable expectation of privacy, well, that's only one way to determine that a search has occurred under Fourth Amendment. There is another analysis, one that we used pre-1967, pre-United States versus Katz, and that was this idea of a physical trespass by the government into a constitutionally protected area or place. He argued that his vehicle was a constitutionally protected item, and so when the government physically trespassed, that is, they touched his vehicle with the intent to gather information, when they stuck that GPS tracker on his car, they violated his Fourth Amendment rights, as they did not have consent, a recognized exception, or a warrant. And the United States Supreme Court bought off on it. Basically, in post-Jones analyses now, there's both the reasonable expectation of privacy analysis in determining whether a search by the government has occurred, and this also physical trespass onto a constitutionally protected area or effect analysis under Jones. And so the question here is the warrant to place the GPS tracker on the car, or is the warrant for the data the GPS collects? The answer is the warrant is to place the GPS on the car, because the rationale for the GPS information, what it collects, is still the same rationale, the same justification that existed pre-Jones. The difference now is that when you physically touch that car to stick the GPS tracker on it, you need a warrant, or consent, or a recognized exception. Hopefully this helps. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to submit them. bluetogold.com/show, bluetogold.com/show. Until next time, be safe out there and make good case law.